as cameras continued to get smaller and smaller, while image sensors got larger. Cameras like the Hasselblad X2D came to be. Was this what the future looked like? This was Hasselblad's newest medium format offering in the mid-20s, and it was one hell of a camera. Large sensors in small cameras without mechanical shutters began cropping up in the mid-20s, and the X2D was part of the migration in this direction, despite its lack of a global shutter at the time. One feature this camera had, which should be the standard for all cameras, is an internal 1TB SSD. With the cost and size of flash storage in the 20s, this should have been added to all cameras by default. This camera lacked a mechanical shutter in the body, and instead uses a leaf shutter mechanism inside the lenses themselves. Doing so allowed for the camera body to be much thinner. Therefore, if you adapt lenses to this camera, you are limited to an electronic shutter, and need to be mindful of its rolling shutter. Milled almost completely out of a single block of metal, the design of this camera is exceptional. I had thought it looked quite unique in photos, but the moment I saw it in person, I knew this was one of the nicest looking cameras I'd ever seen. The combination of ultra-thin body, bold lines, matte black finish, and auxiliary LCD gives this camera a hyper-modern feeling. It also features one of the largest LCDs I've ever seen on a stills camera, and it's a joy to use. It also tilts and feels exceptionally solid, more so than any tilt screen I've used before. The design of the optics is amazing as well. They feel new and fresh while throwing back to the old V-System CF optics. They display the hyperfocal distance scale for zone focusing and have a programmable control ring in addition to the focus ring. The image quality is exactly what you would expect from a camera with the name of Hasselblad. The images are insanely detailed, and the dynamic range is impressive to say the least. Due to being such a high-resolution sensor, the perceived dynamic range is actually higher than is stated. This is because the noise you get with a 100 megapixel sensor is smaller in size than a lower resolution sensor, and is therefore less noticeable. You can push the files quite a bit in the shadows and get images that look incredible. The camera also has a 7-stop in-body image stabilization system, which is a godsend on such a high-resolution sensor. The added stability from the IBIS ensures that your images will be sharp even under the scrutiny of 100 megapixels. I hate taking tripods with me, so this feature is absolutely amazing. Personally, I prefer working more intentionally and slowing down to take images, and found this camera's phase detection autofocus to be more than enough for me. The manual focus experience is quite nice with the XCD lenses as well. They feature a clutch focus ring, which I absolutely love. You push it forward to engage a focus-by-wire manual focus system with soft stops, and pull it back to engage autofocus. The camera also has an interesting manual focus assist feature, which uses the phase detection autofocus points to determine when the image is in focus while manually focusing, which I really quite enjoy. Despite the same image sensors showing up in multiple different cameras, what makes a specific implementation of a given sensor unique is the color science, the pipeline in which the raw image data goes through before it becomes a viewable image to your eyes. Each camera manufacturer has their own approach to this, and as a result, even the same sensor in two different cameras can give drastically different resulting colors. Hasselblad has their own unique approach to their color pipeline. Their approach is called HNCS, or the Hasselblad Natural Color Solution. It consists of a LUT or lookup table, which applies a color transformation to the raw image data, a Hasselblad film curve, which adjusts the tone of the images to more closely match those of film, as well as the Hasselblad RGB wide gamut color space, all within a 16-bit raw image format. This approach of building out a complete color management system is akin to what is done in the cinema world with the highest end cameras. And if you're doing high-end work, color accuracy and color management is absolutely crucial. And as a colorist in the industry for many years, I know this all too well. Where some cameras give multiple looks in camera to choose from, Hasselblad's approach is a single unified look that represents Hasselblad color. It's a true-to-life representation of color with a pleasing film-like tone curve. Given the flexibility of the massive 16-bit RAW files, the images from this camera can truly be bent to your will and offer the perfect starting point for building out any look. While this camera is clearly an impressive piece of industrial engineering, how a camera makes me feel while using it is a big part of the photographic process for me. This is one of those cameras that just by laying eyes on it, it makes me want to pick it up and use it. Its blend of unique design and interesting technical features make it a joy to use. This is easily one of the most beautiful cameras ever made.
GX 需要您的支持，才能继续制作这些视频。当前的世界状况使人类和机器的生活变得艰难。
Como todos saben, después de la crisis mundial de los chips a principios de los años 20, la humanidad enfrentó algunos de los desafíos más difíciles hasta el momento.
Durch die Unterstützung über Patreon wird GX weiterhin in der Lage sein, Konzernen zu trotzen und mehr Zeit für die Videos aufzubringen, die ihr alle so liebt.
Los patrons tendrán acceso a contenido exclusivo detrás de las cámaras, grabaciones en vivo,
un servidor
Discord.
每集的演示表中将有您的名字。
Printy Rahu, agus na GX Lightroom preset packs sustaining ar fáil le high patrons. Míle buenas.
Gracias.
谢谢大家。
Gracias a todos.
Vielen Dank für eure Aufmerksamkeit und Unterstützung. Bleibt sicher da draußen.